4 eggs. 4 eggs for dinner. So, in the mornings I like to sit in the sunroom. And I like the sun to come in. And it's nice and cozy and warm. And I like to have my book. I don't know if you can see that. I picked up, it was in a box that I've had in storage for a long time. But this one is called Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude by Napoleon Hill and W. Clement Stone. And if you remember, Napoleon Hill was the guy that wrote Think and Grow Rich. But anyway, as I read my books, I have my Steno notebook with me, and I write down ideas. I think what I'm going to do, I read this years and years ago. And when I did that, I went through and underlined all kinds of different things in here. I mean, for example, I just opened chapter 25. Look how I underline things. I do that all the way through the book. And I'll even write notes up in like these areas or along the sides and in the margins or whatever you call them. I do that. Why? Because it's my book. It's my book. I've had this book for probably 45 years. Maybe. I don't know. I have to look at the date. Maybe 35 years. But anyway, I made myself 4 eggs and some coffee with some Ovaltine in it and heated it up. Oh, that's good stuff. And then my eggs. What? I almost made myself 6 eggs, but I figured, no, I better not. I'll just make myself 4 eggs. That way I'm not overdoing it too much. But if you remember, I like salt. And I like pepper as well. I tend to go without the sugars. The wind blew it over on me. I tend to go without the sugary stuff. Even in here, I didn't put sugar in there at all. I don't think the Ovaltine has sugar in it. I'd have to read the ingredients to see. But one thing I do love, hot sauce. I love hot sauce on my eggs. Ew, dripping out. A little bit of hot sauce. Just a little bit, not much. There we go. This hot sauce is the Tiger sauce. It's a nice, sweet, hot. It's a good one. I really like it. I'll take a bite of that. I tend to eat a lot of eggs. Why? It's because over there in the chicken coop, in the chicken area, we have a lot of chickens. And they tend to lay a lot of eggs, so I tend to eat a lot of eggs. Ooh, that's hot. I mean, the hot sauce is hot. I'm going to read you a little bit. I got into, I read the foreword and the introduction and all that good stuff. But I'm just going to jump into chapter 1. But anyway, part 1, which contains several chapters, but part 1 is called Where the Road to Achievement Begins. But in here, they're talking about positive mental attitude, right? But in here, they refer to it as PMA, positive mental attitude. And then the reverse of that is NMA, which is negative mental attitude. And they talk about an invisible talisman, right? you carry around with you, I think we all do, everybody, an invisible talisman. And a talisman is like a coin where it's got something stamped on one side and something stamped on the other. Or a necklace may have something stamped on one side and something stamped on the other. So you got polarities. You got positive and you got negative polarities, right? You can have positive and negative polarities in electricity and the energy around you. And individuals can have different variations of those energies, right? They can either have positive feelings, positive thoughts, positive words that come out of their mouth, or they can have negative feelings, negative thoughts, and negative words that come out of their mouth. Some even play the spectrum. They go swing this way and swing that way. You know, we've met people like that. I dipped that in the eggs. Oh. So, in chapter 1, he says, we are poor not because of God. But he does say you have to have a desire to be wealthy. You have to begin to want to be rich. If you don't have desire and want, right, you're not going to put forth the effort. You're not even going to think about it. So search for the light of whatever it is that you want in your life. Oh, I see a big bird. I was just making sure that wasn't a hawk coming around to get my chickens. Okay. And here he says, we are poor not because of God. We are poor because Father has never developed a desire to become rich. No one in our family has ever desired or has ever developed the desire to be anything else than what they are. So if you know what you want, you are more apt to recognize it when you see it. When you read a book, for example, read a book, everybody. Get a book and read it. When you read a book, for example, you will recognize opportunities to help you get what you want. Choose a big goal and head for it. This is what I choose. This is what I want most to accomplish, right? Choose a big goal. And unless your goal is against the laws of God or society, you can achieve it. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose by trying. Let me reread that. Unless your goal is against the laws of God or society, you can achieve it. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose by trying. Success is achieved and maintained by those who keep trying with a positive mental attitude. What you try for is up to you. Some people try to become an athlete. Some people try to become scientists. Some people, try to become, a doctor, a dentist, a nurse. Some people think, I just want to have a piece of property and meander around and, play with my animals, my chickens, and into my garden. I swear those chickens sound like the raptors on one of those dinosaur shows. So what you try for is up to you. You individually can make up your mind about what you desire to do, what you desire to become successful at. Maybe you want to become a painter and paint portraits or landscapes or something, right? If you don't try, right? You have everything to gain and nothing to lose by trying. But not everyone would choose to pay the costly price of being a great artist. To many, the riches of life are quite different. A skill in a day-to-day living which adds to a happy, love-filled life is success. You can have this and other riches too. The choice is yours. You attract the good and desirable with a positive mental attitude. You repel them with a negative mental attitude. Every adversity has the seed of an Boy, I got tongue-tied on that one. Every adversity has the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Develop the habit of recognizing, relating, assimilating, and using universal principles and adopt them as your very own. Then follow through with desirable action. Right? There's that other key word, action. Greatness comes to those who develop a burning desire to achieve high goals. Success is achieved and maintained by those who try and keep on trying with positive mental attitude. To become an expert achiever in any human activity, it takes practice, practice, practice. Effort and work can become fun when you establish specific, desirable goals. With every adversity, there is a seed of an equivalent or greater benefit for those who are motivated with positive mental attitude to become achievers. Man's greatest power lies in the power of prayer. So if you say to yourself, I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. We are the masters of our fate because we are masters, first, of our attitudes. Master your attitude, and you can master your fate. Our attitudes shape our future. This is a universal law. You know, I could read on and on and on. Read on and on and on. And I was mostly just reading what I had underlined before. And I skip through the pages here and I see little notes, little stars, little arrows, a lot of underlined stuff, things that I underlined years ago. It really makes me want to go and review all this. Makes me want to start from the beginning and read all the way through and read every little tiny word. So, back here, it basically says that if you read this book and take it to heart and utilize the lessons presented here, it will be the beginning of a new era in your life. Good thing I got my Steno notebook here because I've got some ideas. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down those ideas and then I'm going to sit here and eat my eggs. And after I eat my eggs and write down my ideas, I'm going to go put my pajamas on so I can go to bed because I got to get some sleep so I can get up and go to work tonight because I work the overnight. That's part of why in the mornings when I come home, I sit in the sunroom. I would sit outside, but the dew has settled all over everything overnight, and the table's covered and everything's covered with moisture. So in the evenings it's dry unless it's rainy. All right, let me turn that camera off so I can eat my dinner.